Meaning every time I see that person's face, I get instantly taken back to the moment in which they molested me.
But this drag thing you're doing in town, tell me about...
Skippy, what?
That's the... If you don't know who Alexis Arquette is, he is the person that played Boy George in The Wedding Singer.
I have days.
Ooh, I like her.
Also, his brother is David Arquette, who was Scream, I think.
Clip I was
A what thing?
about.
A drag?
Is it? What is it?
Wait a minute.
Go ahead. Wait, I want to know.
Drag. You know what drag means, though?
I don't know what drag
Drag.
is.
D-R period, A period, G period. It was originated by Shakespeare. Dressed as girl.
Sorry if I scared you. It's just bentonite clay and baking soda mask. But anyways, back to Alexis Arquette. Oh boy. This person keeps popping up in my feed, and rest in peace, but at the same time, him and I have history. Or her, I guess. But at the time, they were just cross-dressing or drag queening, so I think that they were still a identifiable male at the time. For any of those who wonder how I possess such a profound and vivid memory, it's called possessing eidetic memory, aka the total recall rare one. Meaning every time I see that person's face, I get instantly taken back to the moment in which they molested me. This post is not looking for sympathy. This post is not looking for, I'm sorry that happened to you. This post is not looking for any sort of pity that you might feel after I talk about something that's personal. What I want you to know is that I've grown from it, I've learned from it, and I appreciate the experience nonetheless. But I tell you my reason of why I think I'm posting this at the end. So without further ado, on with the show. I was about 9, 5th grade, and my mother had found the original owners of the house that Alexis Arquette had moved into dead, and took that as her listing, to which she sold the house to him or her. And they were really close, oddly enough. I didn't know him really. I just remember seeing a bunch of dudes dressed as girls or wearing wigs and stuff like that, doing a bunch of gay basically up the road. And I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. All right. You know how, I don't know if they still do this, but they had these fundraisers in elementary school, middle school, whatever, where you get these prizes for the amount of like candies or whatever that you sell. And if you sell like the most, you get like the coolest prize and da-da-da-da. Well, I was trying to get the coolest prize, okay? And my mom said that I could go to the top of the hill, which at the top of the hill was the last house, which was Alexis Arquette's house. Having already been hypersexualized previously from a non-consensual situation that happened when I was 7, get to that some other day, but I was in the curiousness of what was going on at the top of the hill. Suffice to say, even though I was 9 years old, I'd already read an encyclopedia on sex, the same book that my mom hid. I read the whole damn thing. It was very graphic. So I was a wizard about sex. So I knew there was a little bit of shenanigans going on up to the house at the top of the hill. And I used my excuse of going to go sell candies to all the neighbors to gather my curiosity. I knew all the terms: gay, straight, lesbian, Kama Sutra. Like, I mean, I read all of it. There was hentai in that book. I mean, I was down. Like, I was like, okay, let me just read this on the toilet. But anyways, having been a master of sex already at 9 years old, whatever, I proceeded to go up to the last house at the top of the hill. And lo and behold, I knock on the door, and there comes out Alexis, looking fabulous, to be honest. Smoking a cigarette. It's like, hey, I'm selling candies for my school at Grandview Elementary. Would you like to buy any? Pretty much. I was so nervous because I was so nervous to like talk to people, but I knew that this guy was a guy that I could kind of relate to. Excuse me 1 second. I'm trying to be a little productive while I tell a little bit of a story. But he, of course, agrees. And I don't know if he knew that I was my mom's kid. I don't think he did. Or she. You know, it's so hard to sometimes keep up with that. To be quite frank. But he let me inside. And he, of course, bought a couple of chocolates. I had to like suck the whitening strip. God damn it. I bluntly said, so you're gay, right? And he's like, excuse me? I'm like, he's like filling out the little checkbook thingy. And I'm like, you're gay, right? Like, when I walked into his place, okay, there was like all right? It was like rainbow everywhere, candles, lollipops. And I was like, holy shit. He's like, what do you know about that? And I'm like, well, it's when two males do some stuff together or whatever. He's like, is that something you're curious about? Or like, what do you, like, he's like, come with me. So he takes me into this room. It's like one of his many bedrooms in this weirdly built house that had like a basement and a garage and like a, I don't know, it was fucking weird. All I remember about that house is that I would play in the backyard while the old owners would just be making porridge or oatmeal or something like that while I was catching bugs in their backyard. But anyways, he proceeds to put on an adult film called Power Tool, which was the first gay film that I'd ever seen in my entire life. I didn't have gay porn on the pay-per-view, okay? And I was like, holy shit, this is kind of hot. I like this a lot. Wow, can I watch more of this? I start getting an erection at 9 years old. Yeah, not sure if you know, but overfluoridation of the water does cause youth to engage in pubescent sort of era a little bit earlier. Like, actually a lot earlier. Girls are more ready to get pregnant at an earlier age, and so are men. They're fertile. Sorry, like talking about this kind of gets me a little shaky. So I'm like, I don't want to pace myself, want to walk around, whatever. I'm gonna go on so many tangents. I need to stop and stay focused. But anyways, he puts on this Power Tool gay porn. I'm getting hard. He proceeds to put his mouth on my. Mind you, I'm trans. I've been transitioning for like 9 years, but it's on a need to know basis. But anyways, but I still got big. Anyways, yeah, he just like sucks the load out of me. Let's just be blunt about it. Okay. I don't know what the is going on. I'm like, wow, I like this a lot. This is really interesting. What the like, and I'm so horny. And so he takes me down to his little garage basement thingy, and it was like a wrestling ring thing, and then there was like a sex swing, and he puts me in the sex swing and proceeds to attempt to penetrate me. He was so hung that honestly, like, it was not fitting. Just like the time when I was 7. So like, not with him, but with someone else. But anyways, yeah, a lot of problems. It's all good. I don't need anyone to say I'm sorry, for one. Like, I don't need anyone to be, I'm sorry that happened to you, because honestly, I turn my trauma into a kink, and I look at it as an amazing opportunity for growth and learning, and I don't hold any grudges or any hate or any animosity towards individuals that were not acting that in their adult ways, I suppose, you know. Because the 7-year-old incident was a lot more. This one, I kind of knew what I was getting myself into, got what I asked for, essentially, which was confirmation that I was into, you know. Well, you don't know, but anyways, the most up thing about this is that not only is it showing up in my feed, like him for some reason, but it, I keep getting reminded of these flashbacks, and then I get reminded of the aftermath of what had happened. And it's like, I didn't tell anyone because I was like so confused and ashamed, and I liked it and I wanted to go back. Except the next time that I would try to go back, he would slam the door in my face, I think realizing that I was the child of the realtor that had sold him the house, and they were kind of close. So kind of obviously made it a little bit awkward. I didn't know at the time, but reflecting back at that, that's what I can at least surmise. But unfortunately, the story wouldn't come out until years later, when I would actually realize what had happened and what I did and what had happened to me. With the threat of foster care being on the rise, because the Department of Child and Family Services was in my life since I was like 4, in a suicide note, I wrote all about it in the suicide note. But my mom didn't believe me. My mom called me a liar and an attention seeker, and that was just great. I think my goal with this is not to put any sort of embarrassment or shame on Alexis Arquette, because what happened happened. I'm more or less thinking that if I make this public, then maybe my mom will finally believe me. Maybe my mom will stop calling me a damn liar for something that happened to me, about my own experience, about something that really... I would experience the scenario over and over and over again, rather than have my mother, my only parent, tell me that I'm a liar. And I get it. She couldn't help me. She couldn't defend me. She wasn't there. She wasn't... She was always working. And she was good friends with him. She made a commission. I get it. So I was like, I don't hold it against her. Just don't call me a liar. But, hey... it is all good, I guess. Moral of the story is stay awesome, no matter what. Stay positive, stay beautiful, and stay you always. No matter what obstacle you are faced with, you can get through it. Or not, if you so choose to not get through it. Life's a trip and then you die. But death is not the end, let me tell you. It really isn't.